What's up, guys? I've gotten a request from some of my subscribers and other PokeTubers as to how I make thumbnails, and there's a specific way I make it. It's probably a little bit more difficult than other ways to do it because I'm not very in tune to using Photoshop, and I don't really know how to use it. I had to teach myself how to use it, and by watching other YouTube videos, I learned how to actually do that. So I'm just going to make a quick tutorial as to how to make, simple YouTube thumbnails for your videos so that, you make them a bit more attractive. People go searching in the search bar, they see yours. Usually, when they search it and they're not a subscriber to you, they're attracted by the thumbnail. Alright, so we're going to get right into this. This is actually a thumbnail that I just created for a video that I just put up today, a battle against CW Pokey. Chris, check his channel out. I'll leave a description in the description below. Anyway, this is basically a little example I'll give you right here and all the things that you're going to be needing for this. So, we're going to start a new file. I'm going to keep this one open so we can actually refer to this. So you're going to open a new file when you have Photoshop. You didn't hear this from me, but you can get Photoshop for free, and you can get Sony Vegas Pro, which I'm actually going to be opening in just a second because we're going to be referring to you to that, and we're going to be using it as well. But we're opening up a new project. You basically just want to use pixels. You don't want to use like inches or anything like that. And we're going to make this 1080 by 720. The resolution, all this stuff right down here doesn't really make a difference, so you can just keep that the same. You just want to make it pixels, and you want to make it 780 by 720. That is the standard size for YouTube. So it's just basically a standard background, just white. What you could do is you can actually just layer from background and just press OK, so that you're not restricted with your background. You can actually go ahead and take your brush tool, your magic wand tool. You can highlight the entire area, and what you're going to do is you're going to hold down Control and you're going to press D, and it's basically going to cut everything out, but we don't have anything in there thus yet. Well, actually it gets rid of that. I'm sorry. If you hold down Control and press D, it gets rid of the brackets you see right there. But if you press the delete key, it'll get rid of the entire background, as you see right there. And these squares, these squares, patterns, whatever you want to see back here, that's actually transparent. That's letting that's Photoshop letting you though that this background is pretty much transparent from this point on. So, referring back to this, it is pretty standard. I have my logo, and obviously Rotom's the mascot of my channel, so I have my Rotom logo right down here. But if I get rid of the Rotom right there, which I actually have to find right here, I have this like little crossbar right here. I basically just make that with shapes. So let's go ahead and just get rid of everything right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and refer to the side brackets that I have here. And I have them there for a reason, because when you go ahead and take a screenshot of the game, it's going to not be, if you expand it too much, it's not going to be the greatest resolution, as you see right here. It actually looks pretty crappy, but when you bring it down a little bit, it looks a little bit better, and then when you see it on YouTube, it'll actually look a bit more crisper because it makes it a bit smaller when you do upload it. Alright, so this is the this is basically the bracket that I have right here, or your border, whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of like, it looks like crap, right? Yeah, it does look like crap, because what I basically did was I took shapes, okay? So if you want to make yourself a border, and this is what we're going to start out doing first, you can just make a standard border. What you could do is you can just go to shapes right here. You have a rectangular border. You can just basically go like this. Make an entire border, it's orange, okay? It's whatever. Let's just leave it like that. In order to actually, cut around this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to right click onto the actual shape, because it's a shape right now, it's not an actual layer. And then what you can do is you can actually rasterize layer, and it'll is an actual layer right now. You can go to your rectangular mastic tool, and then what you could do is you can try to make a border right here. You can actually go ahead and be fancy and try to measure it out. You can go to you can go up here, you can go to a fixed ratio, you can actually make a fixed ratio, but I'm not going to do that because this is going to be a quick tutorial. But you can do that. Then you see we do have the outlining brackets right here. You press the delete key, it makes a border for you right there. We're going to press Control Delete right there. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. And it gets rid of the brackets as well. So we have pretty much a border right here. That was really quick. And if you want, you can go ahead and this is going to be really helpful for you. It's going to make your, you know, I guess like your images look better when you add them to this, and your borders look better. You're going to go to blending options, and then we're going to go ahead and add a stroke, and it's going to add like a little background to, well, a border to the border. And you can make it black, you can make it white, you can basically make it any color that you want. Let's go ahead and make it white. Oh, it's not better. Let's make it black. And then you can add a drop shadow to it. Drop shadow isn't really noticeable right here, but if you add the distance, it'll make it a huge drop shadow. You don't want that. It looks like crap. We'll just make it a little drop shadow like that. And let's go ahead and press OK like that. Now, if you want to make it look like mine, like this, and I made it like this for a reason, because when you go ahead and, let's go ahead and open a file right here, pictures, and then let's go ahead and open this right here. So this is basically what I took. You take a picture of this when you open Sony Vegas Pro, and there's a little option for you to actually take a screenshot of a Sony Vegas Pro. You can take a screenshot. This actually previous video right here. So when you're editing your videos, there's a little tab you can save up here, so save screenshot to file. You can actually go ahead to a specific part of the you know, the game, say, you know, I want to take a picture of this screenshot and upload it into my Photoshop and make a thumbnail out of it. So you can go ahead and save the image. I'm not going to do that right now because I already done that. And that's if you're using Sony Vegas Pro. You can go ahead and take a screenshot with the print screen button on your keyboard. You can go ahead, go to paint, paste, save it as a file. You can do that as well, but I use Sony Vegas Pro. This is how I take screenshots. And what you can do is you can actually drop this down into this, and then that's pretty much it. And now that's a screenshot I took of the entire video, and this is not really looking too good right here. So if you click on your image, you go ahead and go to edit. You can go to free transform. We're going to make the field of view a little bit smaller. I'm going to make this a smaller so it can actually be seen. And as you see right here, I only want the screen in here. I don't want me in there. I don't want the borders in there. So that's kind of why I have the borders in my other video. So okay, let's do that. It kind of looks good right there. And then in order to make this a little bit sharper, you select the layer right there, you go to filter, you go down to sharpen, and it'll make it look a little bit crisper, so that looks a lot better right there. You can rotate it, you go to edit, you go to free transform again, you can rotate it like this. That looks pretty good like that. Actually, I want to rotate it a little bit less, and this is like a thumbnail I made earlier when I was facing, I believe, Dave Bolero. So go ahead and apply. And you can apply like that, and you want to bring this behind the border because we want that behind the border, obviously. And you see, okay, we have these areas right here. We don't want that right there. So what I had actually done is you go to shapes. You could make multiple shapes. You can do custom shapes, and let's make like a bunch of triangles. We can actually rotate the triangles, and this is exactly how I do it. So I'm going to make this triangle, this triangle, this triangle. This is really, I know this looks stupid, but you're going to see what I'm going to do in a second. Lots of triangles here, so, or triangles, I'm making squares, I'm a retard. Alright, so, we're doing a bunch of stuff like this, and, alright, oh my god, look how many layers we have, okay, but, if you click the top layer and you click the bottom layer while holding shift, it's going to select all the layers. You right click it, rasterize layers. There you go, you rasterized all the layers. And then what we're already doing one by one is editing these just so that it looks a little bit better than that. Okay, we're going to make that one like that. And then we're going to go ahead and apply that one, go to this one, edit. I know this seems like it seems tedious, but this is actually the process that I go through when I'm making these thumbnails. And I don't do this for every one, I just basically save the border for each one. I just do this to make it look a little bit better. Just put that one right there, that's fine. And then I'm basically just going to, cut this out in just a second. I'm just showing what you could do. This is pretty much what I did to make this border right here. Just a bunch of shapes put together. And it looks pretty cool. Let's do a little bit more editing right here. Let's go ahead and do that one, free transform. And I'm sure there's a quick way to do this. You can press Control T, but I usually just go ahead and do that. So we're going to get rid of that right there. And then let's click this layer right here. We're going to go Control T. We can edit this one. We want to get rid of that border right there, and then we want to press enter, go to the next one, and then a Control T for that one. Let's bring this one down here, and then we're pretty much just trying to get rid of the unnecessary border. And I just keep going to free transform, but I could just press Control T. But it's kind of like, the mentality that I've had when I do all of the editing for these videos. Alright, so do a couple of more here, and just get rid of this border. That one, and then this one should be it. do that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, and we can go ahead and move our thumbnail over a little bit more, whatever. So let's say, like, let's make this a little bit bigger. You get the idea, though. I mean, you can just pretty much make a border so it gets rid of the border from, you know, making your video. So that looks pretty good. And then what I do now is you press a little eyeball on that image. It's going to get rid of the image right there. Let's get rid of the effects. You press the eyeball right there. Alright, so I mean, just say that, you know, this is a background that looks like that, which I use for my videos. What you're going to do is, I know it sounds stupid, but this is what I do, and it makes it a lot easier. You're going to save as, and you're going to go down to PNG. I'm going to save it as a PNG. We're going to go ahead and save this as border, and it's going to save it as a separate image. It's not going to have all the different rectangles in there, so what we can do is we can go open file, open the border right there, and then we're going to go ahead, select that, delete. We only have that there now, and we're going to bring the border over now. So now we only have one layer opposed to all those millions of layers, and that's pretty much what, you know, it's going to look like. And then from this point on, what you can do is you go to blending options, you can go to stroke, make it look a little bit better. You can add a drop shadow to it. What you can do is you can actually duplicate the layer as well, and then go to the layer underneath the top layer, and then what you can do is you can add another stroke to it, maybe like double stroke so it looks a little bit better. You know, add white coloring to this just so that you can have like a double bordered stroke, as well as having the, you know, back shadow on there. And then you have the image right here. You can add other images by just going to, let's say we want to add an image of like Graildon. So I'm gonna do search Primal Graildon PNG, and this one looks pretty sweet. Actually, I like this one better. And you want to do PNG because typically PNG images are going to have just the image and not white background. Because if you just search, you know, Primal Graildon picture, okay, let's go to this picture. Actually, that one is not a good example. Actually, none of these are good example. But sometimes you'll have a picture that has a white background. So, you know, take this for an example. It has a white background. It's going to appear as a white background in Photoshop. But if you know, go ahead and select this one, if you put PNG in there, it's going to have those polka dotted pattern back there, just to symbolize that it actually is transparent back there. This is a excuse me. That's a folder from a friend's folder. I make funny pictures for our group chats. Yeah, don't worry about that. Alright, so let's save that right in there. So Google is going to be a huge help when you're making thumbnails, and excuse me, I thought I saved the picture in here. I guess not. Oh wait, we're gonna have to go to this one, and then I have so many damn folders, guys. I really do. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and go to our Graildon picture right there. Gonna bring it up here, drag it into our you can find a bigger picture than this. We're just going to be using an example. Select the picture. You can actually double-click the name, rename it, you know, Graildon. You can place it, you know, priority. So it's behind the border right now because it's underneath the border. You put it above the border, it'll be above the border. We don't want it face it the opposite way of Graildon, so we're going to go ahead and go to transform and make sure you always have the selected the image selected that you want to actually edit. Horizontal flip, it'll face the other way. You can edit the image size, go to image, you can go to image size, make it a bit bigger, or you can actually go to retransform, and then you could just drag and make it bigger as well. And then what you could do is you can make it look a little bit better. Blending options, let's put a stroke around it. I don't know why, but I always feel like making strokes around things makes it look a little bit better. It actually makes it look crappier right here, but just an example. Sometimes it makes an image look a little bit better. So let's do a stroke 3, not 32. Add a little drop shadow behind it. Hey, let's add outer glow to it. That's what I do to my Rotom. Spread it out a little bit, make the size a bit bigger. There you go. Look, this looks like a pissed off, powerful Primal Groudon right now. So we have that right there. You can add numbers to this. Say if you're making a thumbnail for a series and you want to add numbers to it, let's go ahead and add dash number 1. And this is actually a custom font that I have, and you can make it, you know, all sorts of kinds of, you know, you can actually press in here to the text box. You can make the image size as big as you want. Let's make it 200. Okay, look at that. It looks beautiful. And then what we could do is we can go to blending options again, put a stroke around that, put a drop shadow around that. Hey, if you want to put a double border around it, go to duplicate layer. which I actually do right here is, and you can go ahead, go to the bottom layer, go to stroke yet again. Let's make it a stroke of 6, as well as making it white so it looks a bit better. There you go. Looks like a double stroke right there. And you can position it anywhere you want by just clicking the layer, going to the arrow. You can bring it anywhere you want. If you don't want to, okay, I've screwed it up, go to undo move right there, or you can just go to step backwards and move it as to, back to where you wanted it. So you have your number 1 right there. Hey, we want to add like a little logo for our channel right there. So I wanted to add my road on with a little, thing, shape behind it. So what I just do is I basically go to a simple shape. If these aren't the shapes that you want, you can go ahead and go to simple shape right here. There's a bunch of shapes. I like this shape. Let's go ahead and make that. Okay, that's big enough. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. What we can do is we can go to free transform and do that. That looks good. Apply. I want to rasterize the layer because I want to add a background to it. And you get the idea right here. So that looks pretty cool. That's kind of like what I had going on right here. If we go ahead and add that shape back. So that's pretty much what I had on going right here, where I would add my Rotom as a logo, as a mascot to my channel. And you can go ahead and you can put another stroke around that just to make it look like it's blending in with the other background. I have that little tip up there, but that's something you're not going to want to see. So we can go ahead and back to free transform, make this a little bit bigger. That looks pretty cool. Let's bring it back here. There we go. We don't have that there anymore. So we can go ahead and put our mascot there. Instead of, going into my folder, wasting my time, I'm going to click on this image right this file right here, go to my Rotom, and I'm going to drag my Rotom. It'll just duplicate it. It won't get rid of it. And then, I don't want to cancel this. I want to use an example. And then we're going to go right here, put my Rotom right there. Okay, looks cool. And then that's pretty much it. Now, if you want like custom fonts, like I did right here, let's put everything back in here. I have subscriber battles, and if you see right here, I did exactly what I just shown you. I would make a top layer, and then I would make a bottom layer just to make it look a little bit more presentable and cooler. I made a Google search Rotom eyes, and I got Rotom's eyes because he's my mascot, so I looked pretty cool. Excuse me. When I added my numbers right here, and again I did the same thing, duplicated a layer for my numbers, added a separate layer underneath. It looks pretty cool, makes it look a lot more presentable, catches the eye a bit more. Now let's add the background. Okay, now what you want to do is okay, we don't want this border to look like that. It looks like shit, right? So what you could do is, yet again, you can use Google. Google is your best friend. Let's do digital backgrounds, because they look pretty cool, and that's exactly what I use. Okay, so digital backgrounds right here. This looks pretty cool. A lot of them, require you go to a page and then download them. I just download them off Google. I'm not going to really, waste my time right here. Where's my Pokemon folder? Right there, right there. Okay, we're gonna add this to that, and then we're gonna open it up in Photoshop, and then it is right there. Drag it up here. Drag it over here. Okay, alright, cool. It's in the entire over everything. So you want to bring it down here. Oh, wait, no, I brought it to the wrong one. Okay, so we don't want to bring it to the one we're actually making, right? Yeah, so we're going to bring this over here. That's fine, cool. And then let's get rid of it over here. Let's just put that on there. Okay, so we have it over here. Okay, so I don't want it there, right? All right, we want it over our border. Yeah, we want it over our border. So what you do is you put it over top of the layer of your border, which is right here. And then you're going to right-click, create clipping mask. Look at that. It goes right over the border. You create a clipping mask. Okay, we don't want it. We don't want that orange border for this shape right here. Put it over top of it, create clipping mask. There you go. Okay, now you have a really cool, nice looking border around your image. Just basically overshadow those unnecessary areas for your image. And then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I do. Now it's looking a little bit more similar to this, because if I go ahead and make the area visible right there, there you go. That's exactly what my subscriber battles thumbnail looks like. It's pretty much all I do. I mean, it's a little bit tedious. It's a tedious process. But once you get all those files saved, it's going to be a lot easier for you, and you can make thumbnails like this. And then another thing that you're going to want to actually do is go to thefonts.com. Once you go to thefonts.com, the hell is that? All right, so the font. Let's go Google search the font. thefonts.com. Yeah, you don't want a virus. So, go to ahead, just Google thefonts.com. You can basically download any font that you want. Let's go to digital. Alright, digital fonts. This is exactly where I got my other digital font. I think it was something down here. I don't know. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. So I'm going to download something a little bit different. So let's go ahead and download this one. It's going to come right down here. You're going to need WinZip. It's, you know, you Google WinZip, you could download it. So you're going to open up the WinZip file, or WinRAR, whatever it's called, and then you're going to just take this, drag it to your desktop, and you're going to right click it, and then you're going to install. It's going to install, and then what is this called? A Digitalis. Open up this, and then you can actually go to your fonts, click font, and then we should be able to find it in here. Go to D, Digitalis. There it is. There you go, guys. Okay, so that's exactly how you get fonts. Alright, so we're going to get rid of that layer right there. And that's pretty much the whole entire process I go through when I'm making thumbnails. It's really easy. It really is easy. And you can go ahead and edit this as much as you want. You can add basically hue and saturations to this. It's really easy to do that. I actually forget how to do that. I think it's one of these tabs or something like that, but it's pretty easy to find out. If you add a hue and saturation to the background, it'll make it look a lot bit crisper, just like this one. That's why this Rotom looks a lot more saturated than this Rotom, and that's pretty much the entire process I go through. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of fast, half-assed. I talked really fast, but if you have any questions, just post them down below. This is pretty much just a video, or quick video, for a couple of my subscribers and other PokeTubers. It's not a big thing, so guys, take care.